your little girl's Hannah, hey? Okay, so Hannah, if she wants to start reading, and you reading a book to her and she wants to know what that word is.
Yeah.
What happens is sometimes the temptation is to start teaching them something because they're interested, but before they actually mature, before they're actually ready. Yes, and now mom thinks that the child wants to learn to read, and so now they start a reading program when they're 3, and now every day we're doing a reading program. And now that's not good for the child anymore, because now then the baby comes along and now you're not doing, and you wasted all that time anyway. Because let me just explain something to you about numeracy and literacy. It has to be sequential. So the moment you take a break, we found this with our learning difficulty child. If you took a break, you had to go 10 steps backwards and then pick it up again, and then take another break and go back and pick it up and go back. So there was could be a lot of time spent on going back to where you were because life interrupted you. You know? But what you take 3 years to teach a 3 to 6-year-old in, you're going to do in 6 months with a 7-year-old. So you've got to then just decide, do I want to be spending this time with her, with these lessons? It's going to take a very long time to get to the objective, or should I just wait? And now, also when it comes to the more formal side of when to introduce what, you are going to naturally be introducing color, because now she's that age and she's saying, what color is that? And you're saying, give me your pink sponge, and she gives you the blue one, and you say, well, that one's blue. You know, it's just happening. You don't need a curriculum or a program or anything official. So it's going to just happen naturally, you're teaching them. And when to actually introduce the formalization is, I would always caution you to err on the leave it as long as possible, because those formative years, if they spent in this natural play and relationship and building the siblings relationship and being a family together, they over, you can't get them back. So now the formal learning really does start, and now that is what you'll be doing every day. So it's almost like, don't bring that on too soon. Try, pause it. Oh, there's so much learning is happening when they're playing and you're just being with them. That is a big thing, just mom being present and just being with them and playing with them. And your biggest focus is behavior as well, because the one is snatching from the other and the other one is screaming and the other one. And so it's all about, yeah. And so you mentioned KONOS. So I would say that KONOS is the most wonderful directive for little children, because you know as mom that we're focusing on attentiveness now, because you're not listening to me, children. Without a doubt, because it's only for you. It's like you're looking at this attentiveness unit, you're seeing there's some things there. The one is that says play whisper day. So now you're going to play whisper day. You're going to say to the children, today we're going to whisper all day. And they're like, what is wrong with you? You know? And so you're whispering, and you know we did this whisper day and it went to the next and the next day. Can I tell you the result of that? No raised voices in our home, no shouting across the room, no screaming. It's just quiet. It's a quiet household. Now, to me, we can hear God, right? Because there's not chaos and screaming. Okay? But we played Whisper Day, and we played it, and we played it. So every time things started getting a little bit, it was, we're playing Whisper Day today. And you may only whisper. That is the activity. So mom has to exercise this now. Instead of yelling at the children. Yes. How many times have I told you? Now, on that, we did some interviews with some moms. I don't know if you've seen it on the website. It's called Mom's Testimonies, I think. What is it called, Jamie? Mom's Testimonies. And the one mom, her name's Delene. You've just got to watch this video. Okay, her name's Delene, and it's under Mom's Testimonies. Please go watch it. She said that when she started home educating, she was incredibly impatient, and she thought, no, it's not good. I know you're going to watch the video anyway, but I'm going to tell you anyway. It's not good for her to educate her children, because she's not good for them. She yells at them, she's impatient, they'd be better off in school. That's what she thought. But then, of course, God didn't release her heart to not, she's got to get this right, because this is what he's told them to do, and this is what she's going to have to do. So she thought Lord help me, because I really don't believe I'm doing a good thing here. So he gave her a little key, and it was smile at your children. So her child would come screaming through the front door, you know, muddy feet, and she'd go, let's call him Johnny. Johnny! Hello, my son. Beautiful boy. God gave her that key. And she just stopped in her tracks and started smiling at her children. And she said her children stopped in their tracks. Like, what's wrong with your face, Mom? and this worked. She said it started with her forcing a smile, like, and eventually she then added more to it by using nice terms of endearment. Like, oh, my boy, you don't run so fast. Mommy doesn't want you to hurt yourself. You see? God was just giving her, she was amazed, like, wow, I'm quite a nice person now. You see? And then she found that this forced smile started becoming natural. And she says her home education, her family, her life is turned around because she smiles at her children, she speaks kindly to them, and their home is lovely. It's not a screaming, shouting disaster match like it used to be. You see, isn't it incredible? Delene, Mom's Testimonies, go watch it. I tell you, I think it was such a wonderful gift that we got from her that day, from what the Lord gave her to smile at her children. So your job with KONOS is only there to help guide you as to say, okay, we're going to be doing attentiveness now. Let me explain to you what attentiveness is. You put it on the fridge, and well, not that they can read, but you reference to it, and God says to us that we must be attentive, and this is why you need to listen to Mommy when she's speaking. So we're going to play Whisper Day so that you learn to really listen carefully, because it's important. It could save your life. Actually, I used to say that to my children. If you don't learn to obey and listen, you could jump out the car, run across the road, and a bus could flatten you. So, we don't want that to happen. So I'm going to teach you how to be attentive and obedient, because I need to protect you. And God has asked me to look after you kindly and carefully and so on. So the only thing you really need is His Word and spend time there, followed by time with KONOS just being your, not having to rack your brain, what are we going to do this week? It's just like a directive. You read through it, you see there's a whole lot of activities, like Whisper Day being a simple one. You don't have to prepare for anything. You don't need anything from the shops for Whisper Day, you see. So you just need to lower your voice. and then you just apply that. And then you do the next activity, whatever it might be. And I want to just follow on from that and say, that one thing that I discovered with Missy and Jamie when they were grown is how they said that learning to them was playing, and that they didn't even realize most of the time they were doing KONOS. Because I would say, right, this week we're going to build a sugar bridge, and I went and bought boxes of sugar cubes. I hope you can find them still today, I don't think so, but I bought boxes of little sugar cubes, and this sugar bridge fell over and fell over. It kept on collapsing. And we were doing determination at the time. And the behavior, when the bridge collapsed, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want to do this. I don't like building bridges. Okay, what do we want to build a bridge for anyway? What is the point of this? Well, this is exactly why we're doing it, because we're doing determination. So we will start again, and we will build this. And it took us weeks to get that bridge to stay as a sugar arch bridge. We learned about the keystone. We learned about Christ as our keystone. It was Bible lessons, and that's what KONOS helped us with. So I didn't have to think, now, how am I going to teach these children determination? Because one of the members in our family, I won't mention who at the moment, had a bit of a difficulty with determination for a period of time. And so we spent a long time in determination until we started to see the fruit come in that person's character. That determination was part of. Now, all that time they were playing different games that were, to them, Mom setting activities for them. They didn't realize that actually they were learning a huge amount of lessons. And so they experienced KONOS living, not so much as KONOS living, but more how they played. So on that, I just wanted to say that people say, I don't have time for KONOS. Well, maths, language done, finished, Bible study, KONOS is life. When you're going in the car on a holiday, you've been doing cooperation now, so now you must cooperate in the car. You see? So now that gets carried through to the holiday. We had to go to England for a medical thing for about 5 weeks. We had to go and live in England, and we had a tragedy, an aviation tragedy in the family just before that. So we were very unsettled about flying. And so we went to trust, KONOS manuals, and we did trust right up until when we left. And we're on the plane now, we're going, and at that time you're allowed to go up and see the pilot. I think this is a good idea for our children to learn. So off we go to the pilot, and Jamie informs the pilot that he doesn't have to trust him, he just has to trust God. Quite interesting. Just like Missy told the lady in the post office she'll stay in the queue, and she tells the lady in front of her, "You don't have to be as patient as I do." And then she turns around and she says to the man, "You have to be more patient than me." She had it worked out. He's got to wait a little longer, she has to wait a little less, and so she was practicing patience. This is KONOS living. You see, so it's not my wonderful parenting or my incredible inspiration. It's this divine inspiration and a KONOS manual that took all the thinking out of it for me, and I could just use it as my directive, and we could live the lifestyle of learning together and do our maths and language, and the rest of the subjects, geography, history, and everything just happened there in KONOS living. But with a young family, it's really, really helpful to have that KONOS manual. Like when Jamie was Sam's age, and we were doing KONOS, and I would think at the time, such a pity he's only 18 months, because it would be nice if he could get this late, if we could do this when he was older, because now we're doing it with a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, or 1-year-old. Well, it turns out when he's 5 or so, and we're thinking about revisiting that, he's busy telling us what he learned then. The 18-month-old is telling us that a grasshopper's got ears on his legs. Serious? Did you know that? Grasshopper's got ears on his legs. Jamie knew. Okay, but anyway, the reason why we knew is because we were doing attentiveness, and we studied the grasshopper, not because it was out of our textbook and we had to name the parts. And we discovered that the ears of grasshoppers are on their legs. Okay, now this happened when he was in a nappies. Sorry, Jim. He was this little guy. And now later on, when he's 5 or 6 and we come to, he's busy telling us what he knows about these things because he just got it. It's just soak, just absorbed it. So you don't have to worry about whether you need to go back and teach that lesson, because basically the lesson was not about the grasshopper anyway, was it? It was about how uniquely he's made and why we need to be attentive people, and have we understood what attention is? Been attentive. By the way, at the end of the KONOS volume module, let's say you've done patience. At the end of the patience unit, there's an evaluation. Because I know everybody loves evaluations and tests and exams, and you want to be able to see that you did it right. Okay, so now the evaluation's there. It doesn't say, let me use an example, obedience, the horses. It doesn't say, does your child know all the parts of the anatomy of a horse? No, fail, oh dear, we'll have to go back and do that lesson. It doesn't say that. It says, does your child understand obedience? Is your child exercising more obedience now than when you started this unit? That's your evaluation. Your evaluation is not the knowledge gained along the way. The evaluation is, are you seeing this characteristic in your child now? And if you, as a parent, go and look at that and go, well, no, not quite, actually. We think we should just stay in this unit a bit longer. Cooperation isn't quite together yet. So we'll carry on with cooperation for a bit longer. And you go to that evaluation page to check for yourself. As a parent, am I seeing my children being more attentive now than what they were when we started this? Yeah.